These days, video and YouTube have become insanely popular. And if you have any product or service or business of any kind where you need new customers, then video is amazing for you. But what if you're driving in a car or cooking or doing something passively and you just don't have time to sit down and watch a video? That is where podcasts are perfect. And the Joe Rogan podcast recently crossed over 100 million listens in a single month. And with that kind of listenership, you need to be paying attention to podcasting if you have a business or if you want to actually start making more money than you are right now. So in this video, we're gonna be going over the top 3 strategies that you need to be using if you want to start a podcast and actually create a real following that you can monetize. And as a special bonus, we do have a surprise, and this is what allowed me to grow my podcast completely passively to tens of thousands of listens every single month with zero marketing. Let's go. People always overcomplicate everything and they think that they have to have the perfect mics and the perfect everything to get started with podcasting. We use something called a boom mic, which you can see right here. But when I first started on YouTube, I literally just used my laptop speakers and my laptop mic to actually record things. And some of the videos that I recorded literally have over 500,000 views that I just simply recorded on my computer. My podcast that gets tens of thousands of downloads every single month completely passively with zero marketing, I use literally my iPhone to record it with an app that comes natively on your iPhone called Voice Memo. So the point is, guys, just get started. My podcast isn't perfect. I never said it is, but people enjoy it and they listen to it because they're interested in what I have to say and they're interested in the subject matter. And so the point is, just simply get it done. Most of us have a smartphone. Most smartphones have an app like Voice Memos, or if you have Android, I'm sure there's some type of app that you can record your voice that comes natively on that. The point is, just get started. Don't overcomplicate things with a bunch of fancy software and mics and trying to figure out everything for the perfect audio, because then you're just gonna be overwhelmed and you might not start something that could actually turn out to be really, really special. Also, something that you can do to spice things up when it comes to your actual audio and really creating something that sounds very high quality is you can use free sounds. You can actually type in a YouTube audio library and then you can pick out a free song, or you can just type on YouTube, copyright free music, and then you can play some of those songs, very passively in the background for your actual podcast. And a very basic and also completely free audio editing tool that'll allow you to put music, over your voice, soft music playing while you're talking, is called Audacity. And Audacity works on pretty much every different operating system and computer that I've ever seen. And again, Audacity is completely free and it'll allow you to, chop and cut up your podcast if you ever make any mistakes. So you don't have to feel super pressured when you're actually creating your podcast, and you can just sit down and do it with your phone, because the point is, guys, all of us start with 0 subscribers. All of us start with 0 followers on podcasting. Joe Rogan did, I did on YouTube, PewDiePie did on YouTube, everyone does. But you have to start to have a chance. And so I always like to say that imperfect action trumps perfect inaction every single time. So the point is, guys, with step number 1 is just get started, use your phone and free software like Audacity to make a final cut and just get something out there. Step number 2 is actually how to publish your podcast. And this was actually confusing when I was first starting. I thought that you just signed up for a podcast account or something like that and uploaded it to iTunes, but you actually have to use an intermediary service. And the intermediary service that we personally use is called Podbean. And what Podbean allows you to do is basically host your audio files so that you can eventually publish them on iTunes or wherever you want to actually go and publish your podcast. So we use Podbean, which has a $0 plan, right? A basic plan, which is always free for podcast starters. And then they have the unlimited audio plan once you start to add more and more audio to your actual subscription, which is only $9 a month. So again, very, very inexpensive to do that. And another cool part about Podbean is that it's very simple to use. You simply upload your audio, add a description, a title, everything just like you would with a normal YouTube video or basically anything on social media, and then you're good to go once you upload those very basic things like a title and a description and things like that. And something that I recommend is go look at the description of your favorite podcast and you'll see things that they do that you like. You'll see things in the description, you'll see how they actually organize their podcast. And Podbean also has very responsive and very supportive support in case you do run into any troubles. They'll help you get it all solved quickly, accurately, and completely for free. And once you've actually uploaded a description and a title and things like that, you actually submit it into what's called an RSS feed, which might sound complicated, but it's actually very simple. It's just a link that you copy and paste one time, which is what we're gonna talk about in the next step. Step number 3 is how to actually distribute your podcast. And this is done mainly through iTunes or for Android through something called Stitcher. And to upload your podcast to iTunes, you want to go to the website itunesconnect.apple.com. And then once you're actually logged in, all you have to do is click the little add podcast button that you see. And then what you're going to do is you are going to paste in the RSS link that you actually got from Podbean. And that allows Apple to actually know what audio to play. Because remember, you're hosting your actual audio on Podbean. They're storing the audio files, and then they give you a special link. You plug that link into Apple iTunes, and then Apple knows exactly what audio to play, which again is the audio that you're actually hosting with Podbean. And if you're on Android, we're gonna do the exact same process, but on Stitcher.com. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but once you do it one time, it'll make perfect sense, I promise. And that might have seemed like a complicated process, but that is pretty much it when it comes to actually getting your podcast live and able to be listened to by millions of people all around the world. And so the last part is, how do you actually promote your podcast and get it started from scratch? But before we actually get into exactly how to do that, I do want to give a big shout out to our daily comment winner, Make Choice, who says, still think that you are a time traveler. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but unfortunately I can't travel through time, but I can teach you how to actually get your podcast listened to. And if you want to get a shout out on our next video, all you have to do is 2 simple things. Like this video right now, and if you enjoyed this video so far, tap on the subscribe button, turn on notification bells, because we always choose our comment winner in the first minute of our new video. So if you want to be notified of our new videos, make sure you turn on the notification bells. So last but not least, how do you actually get your podcast some initial listeners? Well, the best way and the way that I used is using the medium that we're communicating through right now. You are watching me on YouTube, and YouTube is different than any other social media platform, because if you make videos about whatever you're passionate about, maybe you're passionate about sports or dancing or drawing or whatever the case may be, there's millions and millions of people searching for whatever you're passionate about. And so if you make quality content and then link to your podcast on your actual YouTube videos, you will start to get people interested in your podcast as well. It's exactly what I did. It's exactly what most other people do. The hardest part is the beginning, right? Just think about it like a merry-go-round. It's so hard to get the merry-go-round going. It's rusty. It's so hard to move it. But once you actually get some momentum, it spins very easily, right? But you have to get past that initial part that most people give up. So don't be like 99% of people who never take any action on videos just like this. Be the 1% who actually takes action on this video and actually go out and create a podcast and start getting people interested in it using other forms of social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, and of course, the most important social media platform in the world, which is YouTube. And if you're interested in YouTube, then check out this video right here where we teach you how to start a YouTube channel completely from scratch the right way. See you there. Have you always wanted to start a gaming channel on YouTube, streaming your games so that you can be the next ninja? Well, in this video, I am going to teach you how to do that. More importantly, how to start a gaming channel on YouTube with little to no